So like Dad says, you're not what you eat, but what you absorb. That's true, isn't it? It's hard to absorb a clamshell. So eternity. Is everybody up on a lot of the studies on resveratrol? When I was in Japan, NHK, which is a major network over there, ran a huge documentary on that. Boy, it was all the buzz the last couple of weeks over in Japan. They've been a little bit behind what we've been seeing here for the last couple of years when Harvard released all of their studies on resveratrol. Resveratrol, first noticed in red wine, has generated over 4,000 studies. I mean, like I say, it'll probably be one of the greatest discoveries, definitely in a decade. Been out there forever, though. And looking at demographic studies, we see people who live in Germany and France and those regions where they consume large amounts of wine. They have better cardiovascular health. Their diet was not as good as many nations, but their hearts were in better shape, and that's what triggered the studies on resveratrol. Actually, not on resveratrol, but on their whole diet. And Dr. Sinclair, who discovered it at Harvard University, he went through and tested everything the French were eating. How would that be for a boring job? You know, oh, here's escargot, test that, you know. So research shows that resveratrol has the potential for youth-like vitality when combined. Even more so, once again, synergistic effects. Quercetin turns on other youthful genes. We know that green tea, the catechins and polyphenols found there also help promote youth vitality. And so there's good studies, especially with quercetin in combination with resveratrol, that it has even a more powerful effect. And so we've combined all of these into this formulation. So when we talk about taking back our life, and you know, when I think about that, I mean, I've got my youngest in the house for another 3 or 4 years, and I think, wow, what happened to the time, you know? We get to a point in our life where we get a wake-up call. And not just financially, but with our health also. You know, we get up in the morning and we're a little stiffer than we were the morning before, and it is time to take control. And so this is what we've dedicated our research and development to. And like I say, we have sold products for many years in many different ways. But what we find is that people who are a product of the product, that is the best way to sell these type of products. Because you put them on a retail shelf, people walk by, and it's kind of like fishing. The flasher, the lure, you know, the fish are after it. And so you're advertising by how spectacular your packaging is. We have nice packaging, but to really promote these type of products, you need to be a product of the product. People want to see the results. But people also need to realize that when they're 60 years old, you know, it's what they did from when they were 15 years old on that got them to where they are. And so they're not going to take 1 ounce and, wow, you know. This isn't like Clark Kent running into the phone booth and turning into Superman, you know. And that's one thing to explain to people too, because I'll have people that say, well, golly, I've been on it for 3 days now. And I'll say, okay. And you're 60 years old and now you've had knee problems and all of this. It does take time. And the reality is people start to see a real benefit in 60 to 90 days is what we find out. And so I would tell people up front, because some people will just buy a bottle and think, well, I don't see a difference tomorrow. I'm telling them. But then you need to get back with them. Because what happens over 60, 90 days, oh yeah, I lost a little bit of weight, you know, yeah, I guess I'm not as stiff. You need to remind them, you know, that, and how are you feeling? You taking the product? And that's the worst thing, is when they come back and they give you a full bottle and say it didn't work for me. I bet it did. You put it under your pillow at night, or did you take it? And that happens also. So 1 ounce of eternity is equal to about 250 glasses of wine. Now what they found with the studies in France, a glass of wine a day improved their cardiovascular health. And that's what they were actually studying, was why do they have better cardiovascular health? And that was due to the amount of wine. But what they found when they came over here to turn on the sirtuin genes, when they were testing all these thousands of substances, that it took a lot more if you actually wanted to turn on the sirtuin gene, because when we become older, it shuts off. And these are the genes that make us young and feel young. And so we have that concentration in an ounce, 250 glasses worth of resveratrol. We couple it with polyphenols, catechins, quercetin. Quercetin's a natural compound like catechins are. They come from green tea. Quercetin can be found in apples and a lot of other fruits and vegetables. But quercetin turns on other youthful genes and works very synergistically with resveratrol. So that is the triangle of life. And so as you talk to people, they're going to tell you that they've been to Walmart and they've seen resveratrol for, $15 or whatever. The key to that is to ask them what kind of resveratrol, because form is everything. Liquid versus solid dose, trans versus cis. Like I say, don't get analysis paralysis. But like Grayson said, if he tells you this is the way it is, you trust Grayson as a leader. He's a dynamic leader, isn't he? Yeah. I was ready to sign today. He's very motivational. I hope you have that same trust with me, because I've been dedicated to this. I'm not a marketing plan guy. I'm not a sales guy. I love science. My degree, human biology from the University of Utah. I love studying science. I love chemistry. This is my passion in life. And so when I tell you we have the best resveratrol out there and fucoidan, I guarantee you if I thought there was any way to do it better, that's what would happen tomorrow. And that's the first thing we do. When we develop a product, the #1 mission is make it obsolete. Find something better. And we won't be the same company tomorrow that we are today. And not just in products. I mean, Grayson's right. We talked about recognition this morning. We've got to get better recognition, because you guys are doing a great job. And we need to show the world what a great job you're doing. I mean, I see companies that are doing horrible, but wow, you look at how they spotlight their people and feature them, people who've never made money in their life and still are not making money, But we have true success stories. Like I say, it's very volatile. Half of it is how you process it. You don't want to expose it to light. You want to keep it refrigerated. You want to do it at low temperature processing. And so really it comes down to about the price of a can of soda every day. Now, have you tried our Splash?
Yes.
Okay. Now that's about the amount found in a glass of wine of resveratrol right there. And it has electrolytes in it. And so, rather than buy Gatorade or Coke or Pepsi or whatever people are drinking, drink Splash. Then, there you're getting your resveratrol, you're getting electrolytes, water, rehydration. And one thing they found with resveratrol, it's great for stamina and endurance. And so people who are drinking different products that are athletes especially, if they want to have better stamina, I mean, #1, you're turning on the sirtuin genes and you're increasing your heart health right there. It is reason enough, but it does a lot for stamina. So if you've not tried Splash, I would recommend doing so.